There is a moment every man will face when the woman you've been thinking about for days suddenly stops replying. The silence doesn't come with a warning, no flashing lights, no final words, just a blank screen where your validation used to live. And in that stillness, most men break. Or maybe it's not even about romance. Maybe it is that friend who once laughed at your jokes and now scrolls past your messages without a glance. You feel the sting in your chest, that quiet burn in your mind. And you can't help but wonder, did I lose them, or did they just finally see who I am? And then there's the third scenario, the one that feels like a slow bleed. You don't even notice the moment it begins. A text takes longer to get answered. Calls go to voicemail. The energy that was once effortless now feels like work. And before you know it, you're chasing shadows, chasing people who were never yours to begin with. If any of these moments hit too close to home, stay here, because what you do next will determine whether you sink deeper into neediness or rise into a man who commands respect without saying a word. Welcome to True Stoic Way, the place where men learn not just how to survive these moments, but how to turn them into their advantage. If you find value in what you hear today, let your support be your presence. Watch till the end, subscribe, share this with a brother who needs it, and leave a comment with your own story. Not for me, but for the community we're rebuilding. Men who refuse to live as prisoners to other people's attention. When a woman ignores you, it stings. That silence is like a vacuum. It pulls at your mind, distorts your focus, and makes you question your worth. Most men respond the way society has programmed them to. They chase harder, they text more, they send just checking in messages, they scroll her social media for clues, replay conversations in their head, searching for where they went wrong. But that reaction is not strength, it's desperation in disguise. And here's the cruel irony. Every time you respond that way, you teach her, and yourself, that her attention controls you. The Stoic approach is the opposite. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about controlling the one thing you actually own, your reaction. Epictetus said it simply, some things are in our control and others not. Her attention, not in your control. Her feelings, not in your control. Her actions, definitely not in your control. What is in your control? Your discipline, your focus, your energy, the story you tell yourself about what's happening. A weak man builds his identity like a house of cards. One compliment and he stands tall. One silence and the whole structure collapses. A stoic man builds his identity like stone, shaped by his own hands, grounded on his own principles. No gust of indifference can knock it down. So when a woman ignores you, your job is not to fix the silence. Your job is to remain unshaken in it. Here's a truth most men never hear. When someone ignores you, it's not always about you. Maybe they're distracted. Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they're losing interest. Or maybe, and this one stings, they never valued you as much as you valued them. But none of those scenarios define your worth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The mistake is personalizing her silence, turning it into a story about your failure. You must train yourself to see it as it is, a neutral event, a shift in the wind. And like a seasoned sailor, you adjust your sails without cursing the sea. The grounded man doesn't double text. He doesn't pause his life to wait for a notification. He doesn't drown in what-if scenarios. Instead, he reclaims his time. He pours that energy into his craft, his body, his mind. He invests in the people who show up for him without being asked. He remembers that attention is earned, never begged for. And here's the thing, women feel this. They can sense when a man's center is within himself. They can smell the difference between a man who's desperate for validation and a man who's already full. That's not arrogance. That's freedom. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Think about how much time you've wasted spiraling over someone who wasn't thinking about you. The hours spent staring at a screen, refreshing a chat window, rehearsing a conversation that will never happen. The mental space you've given to someone else's absence when you could be building your presence. In that wasted time, you could have learned a new skill. You could have doubled your strength in the gym. You could have connected with people who bring value to your life. Every moment you spend chasing someone's attention is a moment you've abandoned your own mission. I remember a night years ago when I was caught in that exact trap. The room was dark except for the glow of my phone. Her last message was hours old. I kept telling myself she was busy. But the truth was simpler. She just wasn't prioritizing me. In that moment, I had two options: keep staring at the screen or put the phone down and pick myself back up. I chose the second. I laced my shoes, went for a run under the streetlights, felt the night air cut across my face. And with every step, I realized something. The less you wait for someone else to move, the faster you move toward the life you actually want. That was the last night I let anyone's silence dictate my pace. Most men confuse indifference with coldness. But true indifference, in the Stoic sense, is not about shutting down your emotions. It's about not letting them hijack your actions. When you stop overreacting to being ignored, you're not becoming numb. You're becoming selective. You're reserving your energy for those who meet you halfway. And that selectivity makes you more attractive, not less. Because deep down, people respect what they have to earn. Practical steps, living the Stoic response. 1. Pause before you react. That first impulse to send another message. Let it pass. Take a breath. Step away from the phone. 2. Redirect your energy. Channel the urge to chase into a workout, a project, or time with friends who uplift you. 3. Reframe the silence. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" ask, "What can I build in myself right now?" 4. Recommit to your mission. Every minute not spent waiting is a minute you can invest in your goals. And as you live this way, let the True Stoic Way community be your anchor. Drop a comment sharing the one thing you'll focus on instead of chasing. You might inspire another man to do the same. The most attractive man in any room isn't the one who talks the loudest or demands attention. It's the man who knows exactly who he is, with or without the spotlight. He walks in not asking, "Will they notice me?" but thinking, Do I respect myself when I walk out? That's the shift. That's the power. So the next time a woman ignores you, don't flinch. Don't chase. Don't bend yourself into shapes to earn what should be freely given. Return to yourself. Guard your energy. Live by your principles. Because the man who doesn't need to be noticed is the man everyone eventually notices. If you've ever felt the sting of silence and you're ready to turn it into your strength, join us here on True Stoic Way. Subscribe now. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this with the one friend who's still stuck chasing ghosts. And let's build a brotherhood that thrives on self-respect. Not tomorrow, not someday. Today, choose to be the man who commands his own life.